Hi, I'm Stacy Kennedy with Morrison Company. Today I'll be talking about video 1 of 3 of how to take a client who has a current manual accounting system and help them transition to an automated system. Now today we're going to be talking about approach. The client that I'll be speaking about is one that was a cooperative. A cooperative is a type of business that takes its members' commodity of some kind and it basically markets it on their behalf. So the approach on something like this is we had to go in first and understand the business. A cooperative is a different kind of business than a regular for-profit company, and we were attempting to take an off-the-shelf accounting software like QuickBooks and make it work for a business that QuickBooks wasn't designed to account for. So the first thing we did is travel to the client to understand their business, understand how the information currently flows, how financial information flows, and documented that. And we made sure with the client that we had a proper understanding of the way that things currently worked. The next step in the process was to essentially create like a conceptual framework, high level, conceptual framework. How do we make QuickBooks within the parameters that they give you fit for this particular business model? It definitely took some creativity and understanding debits and credits and manipulating QuickBooks so that it would ultimately produce financial statements that were meaningful for this client. The third step that we did was essentially developed a chart of accounts and a list of inventory items for the client. And we sent them a detailed list of instructions on how to add each chart of account, each account type in the chart, how to add each inventory item, and then we had them send it to us so we could make sure everything had been input in their system properly. One thing you want to make sure is that there's not an error, a small error early on that ends up affecting the financials later. So it's important to check to make sure that the information was actually set up correctly. And then the fourth thing that we did as part of our approach is we collected 2 weeks of invoices prior to their year end. They have a fiscal year end, so all this was going on right around year end. We collected invoices 2 weeks prior to their year end and 4 weeks following year end. And I'll talk a little bit more about what we did with those invoices in video 3, which is about implementation and testing. And in video 2, I'll be talking about some of the challenges of working with a client in this capacity and how do you do it, especially if they're not, just next door. How do we do that? So again, this is video 1 on approach for taking a manual accounting system and moving it into an automated system. Video 2 will be challenges and how do we overcome them. And video 3 will be how do we implement and test the new accounting system to make sure it's everything that the client needs it to be. Again, this is Stacy Kennedy with Morrison Company.